mudanayaal marweyn barnaamijkan caawa waa diiwaangelinta dadka Puntland Population Register. diiwaangelintaasi ballaaran oo dhinacyo badan loo adeegsan karayo. mashruucan oo ay faahfaahin badan inaga siin doonto Dr. Khadija oo dalal badan oo ilaa 20 wadan oo adduunka ah soo shaqeysay. mashruucan waxaa fankiisa bixiyay Italian Corporation. waxaa fuliyay waaxda cilmi baarista iyo horumarinta ee Italian Geographic Society. taas oo mandate loo siiyay Dr. Khadija Cali Maxamuud in ay fuliso hawshaas iyadoo oo kala shaqeynaysa waaxyaha ama jihooyinka ay qusayso ee dowladda Puntland ama degmada Garowe. hawshaan waxaa soo maray 4 madaxweyne iyo 4 ambaasador. waxay ka soo bilaabatay madaxweyne Cabdiraxmaan, madaxweyne Cabdiweli oo madaxweyne Deni lama tiraan 2015 bishii November. madaxweyne Cabdiweli wuxuu qoray warqad diiwaankeedu ahaa support for developing a civil register for Puntland's population. isagoo u qoray markaas dowladda Talyaaniga. bishii afraad 2016 waxaa u soo jawaabay ambassador Fabrizio Marcelli oo markaas ahaa safiirkii dowladda Talyaaniga u fadhiyay Soomaaliya. waxaa ka sii dambeeyay ambassador Carlo Camnelli. waxaa ka sii dambeeyay Alberto Vecchi iyo maanta oo inala joogo ambassador Mario Deco oo aan aad iyo aad uga mahadcelinayn. We are really grateful for the presence, Mr. Ambassador. waxaan markaa jecelahay in presentation ay inoo soo jeediso Dr. Khadijo oo caawa haddaan ka hadlo dee CV-geeda ama waxqabadkeeda baynu ka hadlaynaa ay waqti badan ina ka qaadanayso. waa dhakhtarad, waa cilmi baare ka soo shaqeeyey wadamo aad u badan. sidoo kale waxyaalaha ay xilliyadii dambe ay focus garaynaysa waxaa ka mid ahaa in ay ka shaqayso caafimaadka iyo cudurrada geeska Afrika inay wax badan ay ka qabato. waxay haysataa dhanka waxbarashada PhD in Public Health and Community Medicine oo ay ka haysato Italy, Rome. waxay ka haysataa double master in Community Health oo ay ka qaadatay London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. sidoo kale waxay MBH ka haysataa oo Master of Public Health ay ka haysataa Somali National University. waxaan jecelahay inaan soo dhaweeyo Dr. Khadijo.
President, Ambassador, ministers, friends, families, everyone who is here today. I'm really overwhelmed to see how many people have achieved our invitation. It's amazing to see that all the people whom we have invited are here today. Like I see the UNOPS, some organizations. I cannot thank the ministers, the government, the municipality, current mayor and the vice mayor, the previous mayor, in which without him this publication would have not been here tonight. The project is long, so we are not going to go through all of it. It had success and sometimes setbacks. I will apologize that I will speak in English as our colleagues and friends are here. So before I start speaking about the project itself, as you have seen the video that we try to get your attention on what we are talking about, I will do some general background of what this population issue is. Most of the time there is a confusion about the words like population register, civil registration, there is a census, there is a survey. So if we wanted to clarify these things, they are not easy if the person is not in the field. So creating an accurate population information system is an essential step to assign a legal identity and legal rights to each individual resident in a region. This will allow you to organize demographic actions. It will allow to plan social services and protection. The basic sources of population data and statistics can come from different sources. Description of changes in the population size. How many are we? The question that someone asks all the time is, do you know how many people are we? The distribution, where do we live? Where is the address of the person that the person is living? The composition, who are we? How many persons are living in the same roof? As guide for producing demographic statistics, and the decision making can be obtained from different types of sources. One is censuses, the second is files of continuous population registers. There is a vital registration systems. There is administrative records. Like for example, now what we know is when we wanted to take a passport, there is someone goes to the passport office and registers themselves. So we will have the records of how many people have requested the passport. So that's what's called administrative records. There are sample surveys. If you cannot take censuses, then there is this possibility of sampling the population so that you have the number of the people. The census, which is defined by the United Nations as the total process of planning, collecting, compiling, evaluating, disseminating, and analyzing demographic, economic, and social data of the smallest geographic level pertaining at a specified time. So it's very important to define the time that you should take the census to all persons of a country. So you need to count the all persons of a country at the same time. It's very important, the universality within defined territory and the simultaneity to take a census. Census is a very complicated and a vast combination of different activities. It is the most expensive exercise for the population issue. If, for example, it needs a lot of organizing as well. If we look at the costs of the census, for example, in the United States, it costed $13.7 billion, 41.4 for each person, the cost of the census. If we go to Europe, for example, and we take the Italy 2011 censuses, it was costing $812 million, which is $13.8 per person. Then we look for United Kingdom, which was 19 per person. We look at the South Africa and Kenya, which are the two African countries which have taken a complete census. And South Africa was costing $182.4 million. In Africa, on average, it's $2 to $3 per person. The Kenyan one was costing $144.3 million. So the United Nations Division have taken a round to understand what is happening to the African censuses. Only 32% of the African territory have undertaken a census. So the high cost of the operation and the complexity, administrative complexity, and the need to have more frequently and well-timed statistics, because you have to take the censuses every 10 years. So you need to plan it, to have the time and the human resources. Many countries now, because the technology is advancing, so many countries now are trying to leave the census taking and go and adopt methodological approach alternative to the traditional method of census taking. For example, in France, also in Italy itself, there is the population register is working. So all the information which are in the population register is the one that you need to do the censuses. So what they do is that they make samples every year so that they can compare the data and not take that huge expenses of the system. So, for example, the countries like Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Belgium, and Singapore have got a well-developed central population register with personal identification numbers. And they use those systems to have all the statistics abroad. Now, what is the difference between the census and the population register? The population register is a national system of continuous recording of some selected characteristics of each person, minimum. So it's the name, the sex, the age, the residence, or the address. You don't need huge data of the person. So while you record this and you use to update the system, registering the birth, the death, marriages, divorces, and the address changing of the people, the system will be enough to update and use it as a vital statistics data. So finally, what we said, accurate population register is a permanent census, and it is costly, less costly than the census, and it can be used continuously, so you don't need to take the census every year. Now, let's go to the Somalia context. Digital geographic system, censuses, population registers, and civil registration programs have not been implemented in Somalia over the last 30 years. Only a population estimated survey was conducted in 2014 by UNFPA. It's called BES. Somalia is the group of low-income countries. Its gross national income are 610 in 2023 as defined by the World Bank. It is a vulnerable country, very particularly. It is fragile states index for 2023 was 111.9 out of 120. Acute lack of reliable and regular demographic and identification data in Somalia hinders the government and the local administrations from programming and monitoring activities and evaluating outcomes. So this was the general aspect of what we are discussing about tonight. We started 2014, its discussion. The idea came also before that. Once I remember that President Farole came to Rome, we started discussing about this. We have been working in different sectors in different areas. Like we are focusing, I am a public health doctor, and we were focusing on to health issues. Whenever you come to a town or to a place, you have always the same dilemma. I wanted to do a vaccination, for example. I wanted to see the maternal mortality. How can I organize anything if I know nothing about the people whom I am dealing with? How can I organize the services? How do I know whether the people who are in need don't have what I have to give them? And how do I need the rich people which are in the country, whether they are paying taxes or not? So the services and everything is related to the work, which is the groundwork which needs to be done. When I arrived in 2014 in Garowe, and that was my second time that I came here, I was telling everyone what we had in mind that we wanted to do. Some people thought that I was crazy or something. They were saying, this kind of work is not possible to be done in Somalia. It is not possible to be done in here. No one will be able to accept that you have to do this. I am a very difficult person to be persuaded when I decide to do something. It's not easy to to come and say, I wanted to follow in this path and see where it's taking me. Because the possibility that you fail what you are doing is very high. Very committed young doctor. Once we came out of the university, we were taken as assistant lecturer because we were the students who have graduated the highest level. We had a plan when we were growing because we were taught this is what we were told. There is no way that if you decide something, you need to do it and accomplish it. When we went out, and I was doing my master's degree in 1990 when the war in Mogadishu started, I did not declare myself as a refugee. I kept the Somali passport for 10 years because I was going to come back. And it was not possible to come back to Somalia. So I wanted to work in Ethiopia and Djibouti, and I was nearby. And the issue is when you come back and then you are labeled to say you don't belong, because the names are also names which says you're diaspora, so what are you doing here? So I did not choose to be a diaspora. I belong to the country. It is very difficult to get your way also in Somalia. But what is important is that, and what I see is, they recognize you when they cannot sway you at one point. So they say, you just let her go what she wanted to do. I am very, very happy of the presence of the ambassador, and not only him, but all the previous ambassadors, because when I decided to work and they asked me to work in Somalia, we had a deal. I said, I want a full support from your side, and whatever is related to the Somali context, you don't need to worry about it, because that means of my capacity to do it. And sometimes it was very difficult, and I could decide to say I am going to quit. But that meant to fail, and I did not want it to fail. But it was not only me. I had a team which started to work with me in 2014. And whenever I called them, even if I am not able to pay them permanently because I don't have enough budget yet, they just come and work. So I really wanted to thank my young people here who are now sitting here. I came to Puntland now, and this is the first time that I had a real welcoming for the government and for the country. And I really wanted to thank the Vice President who is sitting here, the President, the ministers, and everyone who is really making me feel that I belong to the place. So I will go through the presentation quickly, and then we can have the discussion and the questions and the comments everyone can do tonight. So when we start working in the project, this project is meant, as we said, and you can see in the title, it is applicable into all African contexts, in many African contexts. Like there are many countries that we are testing the system. What we are trying to do is to come up a model which can use the technology of today to see and the context of the African context, and then see how this model can be used from the bottom up, build something into the municipality level, which is sustainable and which the people can learn and start building on it. So when the system now, which system that we're presenting, is meant to the Somalia, the whole Somalia. So we started in Puntland. If we say that Puntland is now 0-1, so it is where the system have been implemented the first time, then the second region which comes up will take the 0-2. So we are now talking about Puntland state, go on. We are talking about Nugal region. We are talking about Garowe district, then Garowe town. Then when we came to the program have got 3 sectors. The first sector is, as we said, where do we live? What is our address? The person that we wanted to talk, like now there is a slogan which says, 1 person, 1 vote. So what we need to know is that person, where is that person? Where that person is living. So it's a geography. So we wanted to study how can we fix geographically the person that we are talking about. That's why it's very important the delimitation, the system. When we came to Garowe and we were working with the municipality, we asked them what is the delimitation of Garowe town? Where is the Garowe town ending? So they came with us, the municipality people. We delimitate where they say that it was Garowe town. Then there is Garowe district afterwards. So the other thing is that when you come to work in a town, you don't create a new system. You try to utilize what has been done. What are the names that the people have for the neighborhoods, Hafadaha. So you follow. We went together with the municipality people to understand what was the delimitation of each neighborhood. Was it this house belongs to this part and this house belongs to this part? Because what we are talking about is a town which you don't have a street name, you don't have a house number, you don't know the people, no one have a national security number. So Somalia is a very good exercise because we are starting from zero. So we follow. The other thing is that the town, Garowe, is a very amazing place. It's really growing. There is a lot of investment in it. There is a lot of houses built in it. That image that you see is 2003. So which means that Puntland government was a few years old. And Garowe was the capital. And that's what it was in 2003. And this is what is after 20 years, 2023. So you can see how many houses have been built in the town. Go on. This is the other area. And this is what is today. So what you can see is that if you do have and you fix the situation in one place, then you have a way of controlling what is changing, how the town is changing, how the town is growing, what the town needs. So all this is something that we try to do it for the municipality. It was not necessary for the project, some of the data that we collected. But we wanted to give Garowe municipality the information that they need, which is X day, the situation of Garowe is this. Then you can, after, see what have changed. So now, fortunately, as we say, there is a system. There are technology which you can utilize. At the beginning, when I counted in Merka town in 1990 when we were at the university, and we used it to draw the houses by hand. Then I went to work in those 13 years that I worked in Ethiopia, Harar town, and which is a very historic town. And we did aerial photograph. But now you have a satellite image which will show you the delimitation of the house. So the work is easy now to be done. So we bought a satellite image in 2018, and then we bought it in 2020, and you can't imagine how Garowe was changing in those 2 years that we had the system. So it is growing. Then we had, these are now the map, and it's a working map. Then we will be discussing with the municipality whether they wanted to legalize that as their use. But what we were doing was the research map. We had 17 neighborhoods, so we had settlement areas, which is where IDPs live, so we also count them. We delimitated them, we made their maps. There is 165 sub-neighborhoods. The system is made Puntland State, Nugal Region, Garo District, Garo Town, Garo Neighborhood, Sub-Neighborhood. Then there is a registration area. The registration area is a very small territory. It's about 100 households. So it is also very important if you wanted to make an intervention for social services, for security reasons, there are people who are responsible in each area. So it's very easy to manipulate and to maintain. So we had the field work. So the way it works is that we collected the information. One is we came in front of the gate and we have its GPS, then an address system will come out. For example, you see there, you see this HN. So that's Hantiwada. And so it comes, the first two letters are letters which indicates neighborhood. So you have Halgan, HL, Hantiwada, HN, like that. Then you have a number, basically, which tells you this is 1, so it's sub-neighborhood 1. This is a registration 1, then it makes a slash, then it says 001. This is the compound number now. So which means I came to where do we live now. So I have that compound now indicated. Then you enter into the compound and you find how many households are living inside. So I got one household, for example, and I give 4 digits to that household. So it is basically connected, so I know where the family lives. Then I can collect all the information that I want. So then I have this unique number, which indicates that household. And as I said, we are now dealing with to say that this is a national level. So we start Puntland State 01, Nugal Region 01, Garo District 01, Garo Town 01, Garo Hafad Ngorisi Code Augusta Garden 01, Garo Sub-Neighborhood 01, Garo Registration Area 01, Compound 007. So you have that number which indicates where you are. This is very constructible. For example, when there was the COVID and we were panicking that all Somali people were dying, but they didn't die basically. we tried to make a survey in Mogadishu using the same system. The same team went to Holland district and we gave, to use the system, we gave Holland, Banaadir doesn't have a state. So it's a region. So what we did was we give 4 digits to Banaadir so that the system could be maintained. And we saw that it is possible to apply to the other areas as well. This is now, for example, the Halkan. So we came now to the second stage. The publication that you have now is a complete survey of every household in the town. So we studied about almost 15,000 households. We collected not only the information of the population, but as the mayor have requested us, we also put something which is cadastral system. So we also measure the house. We try to collect information about the building. What is the building? System which is they are using. Do they have water? Do they have electricity? Do they have toilets? Anything which was in the house was also collected. We also collected information about the social issue, whether the family have some assets or not. We collected whether the people were owners of the building, and if they were not, whether they were renting it, and if they were renting, how much were they paying? And the town is very, very, very expensive. So it is basically, it gives you this publication, with the reason that we spend a lot of time to create the publication and give it back is for you to study what is the first step that we have done. Now we are going to go to the second step, which is, we say, geographic fixing. Then we need now to fix the people, the body of the people. So the biometric system will come up secondary, which means not like what you have done now for the election, which is voluntary. that you go there and you register yourself. This one is not voluntary. The family in which we have identified will be called to register themselves so that they can have the legal identity fixed now. Every person will have a national security number permanently till they die. Then once we fix it, the whole population, which we will put in a box, so it's like they are born today, all of them, then we will start the civil registry. They were saying you will make it compulsory, the registration of birth, death, marriages, and if the refugees, and then if the people move. If I move from here and I go to Posaso, then I go to the municipality of Posaso and I say I move it into this address. Then the Posaso municipality will request my file from the Garowe municipality. It was very difficult to find a way to put the numbers. So now we are creating, and we print it out in Italy, the number on the gate. And we will taste one neighborhood and try to fix that neighborhood so that we can see if it's applicable into the all places. I saw that first we were writing by hand and many of them have been basically wiped out, but we do have them into the system, so it's very easy to get it. When we tried to see what is the situation today, it's like 25,000 compounds we mapped. And some of them were just not built, Bokat it's called. And now when we put it onto the Google, a lot of them is built in the time that we were not here. So this is basically the team which has been working on it. What is the objective of this project? The objective is to come up with a model applicable and maintainable and easily done into the municipality level. We already talked about the population register, so the definition is we need to preserve legally the information of the person. So the difference of this is not only a legal identity that you fix, it has to be also a dynamic and maintained during the time. And it can really, to come back, facilitate a complete, for example, now we wanted to make the election. The municipality have got all the resident population in their databases. When the election comes, they will print it out, people who are eligible from 18 to 99, and then say, Hafad the Hodan, the election will happen in Gambol school, or Kalator. The people will go there, you have your number, you go there, they give you your paper, you vote and you put it in there. So not only that, but it will facilitate the whole referendum, everything. You can collect really the taxes. So for example, there are people who are earning $200,000 a day, or rich people, and we are not collecting any taxes out of them. The people who are in need, we don't know them, so we cannot give them anything. So it's very important this. You can plan the military services, you can plan the health services, you can know how many students are coming out this year and how many scholarships can you need, and how can you really plan whether you send them social services and military services, the young people. We will try to show you a little bit of results. Some of the information is taught like tables, but we also try to, because the table sometimes is very difficult to read, so we try also to put it into images. For example, we ask a question to the people: how long have you been living in Garowe? And we try to see which neighborhoods are the people living over 10 years. So we found out what we knew basically, that the town started from some neighborhoods and then it grew. So when you have the system like that, you can really plan to see there are places in which people which are living are very small. So you can see whether they need some health services, maybe they need some transportations, maybe. So these things can give you the possibility. What is the economic activities of Garowe town? What do we have? Do we have manufacturing? Do we have restaurants, education centers? 3,400 places have been marked and classified what they are. So basically you do have also that, so that if you wanted to understand what, for the 3,400, 1,600 was wholesalers. So we as Somalis, for the economy, we resell something. We don't produce the things. So it's very, very important to see the reality of the numbers and then see how you can plan that one. The second step will be the biometric registration. So we were able, with the fund that we had from the Italian Corporation, to buy also the kit, which is mobile, in which we can also take it out of the town, register the people of far places, and then bring them back. So this now, the software is now in making, and we hope that we will be able, before, at the beginning of the next year or before the end of the year, to start the taste of the one neighborhood. And this kit has got all the what we need, everything that we need. The conclusion is, and if we say the system should be established at the local level, at municipality level, all the municipalities' databases should make regional databases. All the regional databases should make the federal databases. This is a social system, and it has to be constructed from the bottom, not from the top to the bottom. So this is basically what it should be. And as we said, it has to be sustainable. So where we are now, we have demonstrated that we are able to do the project. But it is enough to say that it is possible to enlarge the system quickly to all Garowe, then to all Puntland, then propose it to the regional states also, and then see how it really grows and all that. It's very, very important that the sustainability. The sustainability means also to have the people whom you train as a municipality level should be able to have a permanent salaries to work the project for years, so that they can learn what they can also transmit what they learned. There is a challenge which comes to the project. One is sometimes that decentralization is not accepted. The government in general wanted to keep the things into the central level. It's very difficult to give the possibility, the building the things from the bottom. It's not only one government, but that's the way that the things normally work. So what is very, very important is that 2-3 things needs to be clarified. It should be a complete government buy-in at the project. Otherwise, it's not going to work. The second thing is the ownership of the project. The government should own the project, and the level of the municipality should own the project. We, like people coming from outside or any other agency, should be the helping and training of the system making. This is very, very important. So I will stop here. I really took a lot of time, and I really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
hay-ado badan ayaanu la shaqaynay oo programka markii Italian Corporation-ku uu fanka bixiyo hay-adahaas baa naloo soo mariyaa multilateral ahaan kadibna research and development unit-ka Rome buu ku dhacaa markaas kadib baa programka lagu shaqeeyaa marka waqtigan hadda ugu dambeysay waxaanu la shaqaynayaa hadda UNOPS oo aad iyo aad noo caawisa sidii aan programka u implement gareyn lahayn.
Distinguished representatives of the Italian Corporation, Development Corporation, esteemed colleagues and partners. It's my pleasure tonight to address this gathering on this important occasion that makes a significant step in the journey towards providing legal identity and rights to residents across Somalia. This citizen registry, which has been presented by Khadija, will serve as a foundational tool for organizing democratic actions, planning social activities, and ensuring equal access to government resources and benefits. There are important safeguards embedded in the system to place the citizen privacy and data integrity in a safe place, and the registry will facilitate targeted interventions, improve governance, and foster inclusive development initiatives. I have to mention a few of the stakeholders that were involved, and I'm very happy that UNOPS was part of this initiative, which was funded by the Italian government, and it was funded through the Italian Agency for Development Cooperation. And of course, I have to mention the Società Geografica Italiana, who were the actually implementing partner of this activity. Special gratitude, of course, to the Italian government, to the Italian Agency for Development Cooperation for providing the funds. Gratitude also to the municipality of Garowe, to the federal state of Puntland, and to the federal government of Somalia. Without all these stakeholders involved, this would not have been possible. So your active participation in these efforts is not only an effective but also genuinely reflective of the Somalia priorities. I just want to conclude my remarks on behalf of United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, in Somalia by encouraging us to celebrate the progress we have made, and we remain committed to supporting Somalia's continued journey towards sustainable development. Mahadsanid.
waxaan haddana jecelahay inaan u yeero Ambassador Pier Mario Dacco. Please welcome.
His Excellency the Vice President, their Excellencies Ministers of Government, Governor, Majors, distinguished representatives of Puntland Presidency, of international organizations, in particular UNOPS, Dr. Khadija, other project manager, collaborators, distinguished high guests, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of civil society and of the municipality of Garowe. I am grateful for this opportunity to address you all in these important events. Let me first of all to congratulate Khadija and all those who collaborated in this important program that is really an excellent example of cooperation of Italy in Africa. I am honored to have finally been able to accept the invitation for this visit to Garowe, which had been previously scheduled and then postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. Somalia and Italy, and let me say that I informed of this visit the federal government, and I'm glad to say that that visit is taking place with the full approval of the federal government. Somalia and Italy are linked by a long common history, and still today are united by feelings of closeness, respect, and affections. The historical relations are marked by a unique factor which goes beyond the colonial period and has laid solid foundation for the development of a sense of long-lasting brotherhood that has lasted over time and is still very much alive today, despite the time that has passed and the difficult historical events. As emblematic of this special relation, we recall that in 1949, the United Nations General Assembly approved a resolution which assigned the territory of Somalia to Italy under trustship. The The task of Italy for 10 years was to gradually lead Somalia towards independence by forming and guiding its leadership class and lay the foundation for a balanced democratic system. Thanks to our century-long close relationships, which is based on mutual responsibility, trust, and respect, Italy aims to revitalize relations with Somalia in all sectors in a respectful, conscious, and effective manner. Last January, on the occasion of the Italy-Africa Summit in Rome, the Italian government presented an ambitious strategy and approach towards African countries based on cooperation between equals. The Piano Mattei initiative is called. This strategy is not limited to drawing investment, but prompts to create systems, exporting ideas and training, build skills, and mobilize living forces in order to promote shared strategies of the mutual developments as equals. Italy intends to promote model based on the local development, far from predatory logics as well as paternalistic approaches, really fostering mutually beneficial growth on an equal footing and not simply exploiting the manpower and safeguarding the know-how. Italy's agenda in Somalia is shaped by these sentiments and aims to support consolidation of progress in the institutional, economic, and security fields, its stability and its prosperity. It is a transparent agenda based on, as mentioned before, on equal and mutually beneficial relationships. The project that we are presenting, that Dr. Khadija has presented today, falls fully into this category. The civil and digital registration of citizens is a fundamental starting point for recognizing people as an integral part of the community, recognizing their citizenship, political and social rights. I would like to remind you that Italy is engaged in bilateral cooperation with Puntland. We have supporting different projects, especially in the area of Bosaso, but not only. And we participate also in a multilateral project, mostly within the European Union, but also through the United Nations Agency. I would like just to remind that the European Union's engagement with Somalia has intensified over the past year, and the European Union is the largest donor. Both bilaterally and in the European Union, that is also an important aspect of our cooperation, Italy is also committed to strengthening security and stability in the country. That is essential for human development. The Italian military contingents provide the majority of the personnel of the UTM training mission in Mogadishu. That is a training mission for the Somali Armed Force. Also, every year, Somali cadets are awarded scholarship and the most prestigious Italian academies by the Ministry of Defense. Since 2014, the training mission of the Somali police forces, Darwish, by the Italian Carabinieri has been active in Djibouti. Italy has an ongoing program in the higher education sector as well. Apart from the support, the historical support to the Somali National University, we have increased scholarship for Somali students. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs will support will provide for 21 students, and some of them are also from Puntland, with a scholarship, and many other, almost more than 100 students will receive a scholarship from Italian university. I would like to take this opportunity to emphasize another aspect: the trust that the Somalis place in Italy and Italians is partly also the result of Italy's recognized ability to maintain an open and constructive dialogue with all the components of the complex and diverse Somali society. Italy enjoys a credibility in this country that makes it a natural interlocutor for everyone. With the respect due to the decision that only the Somalis can and must take, we are nevertheless willing to take constructive action if requested, to facilitate internal dialogue with pragmatism and, above all, without cultivating the illusion of being able to impose in Somalia models of government and coexistence that are foreign to local culture and local dynamics. This, in brief, is the genesis and the cornerstone of a strong friendship that exists between our two countries. Today, as a representative of Italy in Somalia, I would like to address to all of you a message of sincere encouragement so that all Somali, both ordinary citizens and politician representatives, commit themselves to developing and strengthening more and more that sense of common destiny that alone can be the foundation for a genuine pacification and prosperity for the country and for all its citizens. As Somalia's partners, not only Italy, but also as all the relevant partners of Somalia, we would like to see continued uninterrupted efforts by all Somali stakeholders to advance in state building and democratic process in the country in an inclusive way. Continued dialogue is key to avoid political stalemate that impedes overall progress, not only on Somalia's democratization agenda, but also on Somalia's security and development priorities. We therefore impress upon all parties the need to urgently re-engage and resolve ongoing disputes. We think not only Italy, but the relevant partners, the NCC remains a valuable forum for building consensus and reaching the necessary political agreement. To conclude, I am grateful to you for this opportunity to visit Garowe, and I hope to have the opportunity to visit other parts of this beautiful land. For me, the opportunity to meet all of you, I really feel like in a second home here in Puntland, and thank you very much. I hope to come back here soon. Thank you.
waxaan jeclahay inaan ku soo dhaweeyo madaxweyne xigeenka dowladda Puntland mudane Ilyas Cusmaan Lugato.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله حبناها كلها وسيرada agaasimaha guud ee madaxtooyada ambassador Pierre Mario Doka walaalkeen Ernesto Mohamed oo isna delegation ka ah hay'adaha caalamiga ah madaxda jaamacadaha miidiyaha aqoonyahanka maayarkii hore gudoomiye ku-xigeenka qaybaha kala duwan oo dhan walaasheen Khadiijo doctoraysa Khadiijo iyo groupkii la shaqeynaya. Assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatu. marka hore waxaan u mahadcelinayaa ambassador Pierre Mario iyo delegationka dowladda Talyaaniga ee safarkan inoogu yimi oo muhiim ahayd imaatinkoodu. dowladda Talyaaniga iyo Soomaaliya waxa ka dhaxeeya xiriir dheer oo taariikhi ah, wax wada qabad, wax wada lahaansho, marka taariikh iyo historical dheer waa ka dhaxeeya dowladda Talyaaniga iyo Soomaaliya. Puntland iyo dowladda Talyaanigana waxa ka dhaxeeya xiriir aad u weyn oo dhow. waxaadna ogtihiin infrastructure-da ugu waaweyn dowladda Talyaaniga ayaa wadankan ama dowladda Puntland u dhistay. wadada dheer ee halbowlaha haddaynan haysan 34 sano Puntland waxay noqon lahayd inaan garanayn, iyo dekeda Boosaaso, airportka Boosaaso, korontada Boosaaso, TV-ga iyo mashaariic badan oo kala hormayd. biyaha Boosaaso hadda dhammaad maraya oo meel dheer laga soo jiiday. marka ambassadorku intii uu yimi dhowr jeer buu imaan lahaa, calaamasaarkii wuu inoo imaan lahaa, xilliyo kalena waa imaan lahaa, laakiin duruufta safar baa suurtagelin weyday. inta uu inala joogana kulano badan oo kala duwan buu la yeelan doonaa barito golaha wasiirada iyo komiteen wasaaradood oo horumarka jira iyo baahiyaha jira iyo waxyaabo badan laga wada hadli doono galabtii jaamacadaha oo aan rabno in dowladda Talyaaniga ay qayb weyn oo la shaqayn jaamacadaha iyo scholarshipska Soomaaliya ay siiyaan inaynu ka qayb galno oo kuwa hadda yaalana aynu ka qayb galayno kuwa kale oo soo socdo ilaa 260 gaarayana in Puntland ay qaybteeda ka heli doonto oo waliba ay safaaraddu qaybin doonto dowladda Puntland waxaan rabnaa inay si dhow dowladda Talyaaniga ay wada shaqeeyaan markaa mahadsanidin baan leenahay thank you very much runtii waxaan rabaa inaan halkan aad uga mahad celiyo oo wali aan halyeeyad ku tilmaamo qofku hadduu vision leeyahay oo visionka uu leeyahayna obstacle kasta uu la kulmo uu ka midho dhaliyo waa qof isbedel dhalin kara wax badan ka tagi kara walaasheen Dr. Raisa Khadijo mahadsanid baan leenahay waa laga yaabaa inay marar badan caqabad la kulantay waa laga yaabaa marar badan in duruufo kale oo diiday ay yimaadeen laakiin waxaan maanta goobjoog ka nahay oo furaynaa mashruucaas muhiimka ah mashruucu tirakoob kaliya maaha registration maaha wax kasta oo nolosha qofka bini'aadanka saameeya baa mashruucan ku jira number 1 horta garow haddii Puntland nasiib u yeelato haddii garow nasiib u yeelato caasimadeeniya waa ilaahay mahadi barnaamijkani folio family ana garaf baynu lahayn laakiin warigi Soomaaliya kama suurta galin barnaamijku wuxuu wataa marka hore in magaalada garow ay yeelato guri waliba inay street waliba magac yeesho guri waliba number yeesho oo cid kasto ku nool garowna registration guriga ay degan tahay ku diiwaan gashan tahay ID la yaqaano xaafad kasto garow marka qorsheel uu balan gareynayo caafimaad iyo MCH aag walba waxa degan waa la garanayaa aag baa commercial ah aag baa industrial ah aag baa population ku badan yahay security uu qayb ka yahay development-kii horumarkii uu qayb ka yahay ganacsigii uu qayb ka yahay marka garow residence-kii address-keedu ay buuxsamaan haddii DHL iyo UPS ay ila flight-kii maalin walba inoo yimaada laga suurtageliyo dunida meel kasta wixii aad ka gaartaa 5 maalmood kadib address-ka gurigaaga yaala mar sorbayno hadda xafladda ku qabanaynaa waa hotelkii 5 stars-ka garow ku yaalay qofka safar ka yimaada in la keeno mooy xitaa ma iman karo laakiin waxa marka suurtagelaya meel kasto qofku wadan ka yimaado xaafadda hodan guriga yar ee ku yaala ay degan tahay Xaliima Calbiyood ama guriga ugu weyn ay degan tahay Faydiriye inuu qof saaray inuu street marka Garowe City nuga ma jiro ama lama cayminaya ama hawlaha guud ma siinayaan registration hadduusan guri ku qorayn driving license waa la mid markuu qofku Garowe ka guuro oo boosaaso u guuro meesha uu horeysa u tagayaa waa fiiska registration waa inuu yiraahdaa magaalada aan soo degay housena markaas aan degay waliba wadanada qaarkood munishibiyada soo fiirisa guriga inuu degan yahay ama contract hadduu ka haysto uu deganaan karo horta development iyo horumar bilowgii weeye waxaan kale oo ay Puntland mashruucan muddo soo socday dowladda Talyaaniga uga mahadcelinaa waliba dowladda Talyaaniga wali si maalgelisana iyo corporation kuwa waa codsanaynaa laakiin mashruuca kani hay'ad inoo shaqaynaysa maahe waxa mashruuca kani uu ku shaqagelayaa inay Puntland yeelatay hay'ad madax bannaan oo hay'adda registration-ka iyo diiwaangelinta Puntland qolada democratization-ka registration garow waa lagu bilaabayaa magaalooyin kale ku xiga haddii budget ku filan la helana markaas kulligood way ka shaqo galaysaa markay waagay inoo dhamaato ID-geen iyo registration-kan oo dhan kala noqon doonaa waxa hadda registration-ka dadkeenu waxa laga yaabaa anigu maalintii aan isdiiwaan gelinay marsoor baan iska diiwaan geliyay meeshii aan sheegtay baan hadee bedelkeeda wali xaafadan xilliga deganaa waa ka guuray laakiin qofku hatta kaarka votingkiisa wuxuu ugu soo dhici doonaa gurigiisa deganaansho iyo ilbaxnimo iyo iyo nolosha sida dunida ay ahayd bay bahashani dhalaysaa. waxaa sahlanaan doona in guri walba dadkii deganaa la og yahay. waxaa sahlanaan doona hadda markaad dunida waddan ka mida joogto oo aad familygaaga dalbanayso, qofka Soomaaliga waxa laga yaabaa in lagu xidho DNA, wadannada kale dadka ka yimid lagu xidho for your family registration ba malihid. marka maxaa baa cadeynaya xitaa Soomaalida wadannada qaarkood baa unbekant ku qoran. unbekant waxa weeye uu sheegtay waddanka inuu yahay. waxaan isleeyahay Garowana xaq bay u lahayd caasimadeena qurux bilan inay nasiib u yeelatay magaaladii koowaad ee Soomaaliyeed ee laga hirgeliyo. Khadiijana istiraatiijiyada kamida maayarku uu maqlay istiraatiijiyada kamida mid u bixin doona kuwa waaweyn ay sababtay wax weyn bay qabatay. Street Minneapolis kamida baa nin Soomaali ah oo educationka Hussein Hussein Samatar Street Hussein Samatar la yiraahdaa ku yaala. waayo Soomaalidu ugu horeysay ciyaalka nolosha ka dhacay kaliya hagaaji. marka dunidu dadka wax qabta raad ay ka tagaan bay horumar ugu sameeyaan. waxaan qalayaa Khadiija waxa dhici karta xilliyada qaarkood mashruucan ay waday inay caqabad badan dadka loo sameeyay ay kala kulantay. runtaan ku dambaabi maayo. marka wixii development iyo dalka horumar aan ula shaqeyno dawladda waa dawladda horumarka. wax ka soo horumara cidii keenta way isgarab taagaynaa, caqabad ku xidhmayno, waa la shaqeynaynaa, waa u ducaynaynaa, wali waxbaan ku kordhinaynaa insha Allah taala. hay'adaas iyo registration kaasna dawladda Talyaanigu waxa ay natarnaa wuxuu ugu fiicnaa weeye. iyagaana maalgelinteedii laga sugaya insha Allah taala. waana ka sii wada shaqeyn doonaa barnaamijka isaga ah oo aynu caawa launch gareynay. wali muhiimadu leeyahay safar uu ku imaan lahaa ambassadorku shaqooyin badan iyo xiriirka Puntlandna safarku waa ku jiray. laakiin haddana muhiimad weyn bay u lahayd mashruucan inuu launch gareeyo. marka insha Allah taala waxaan rajeynaynaa in midhihiisina aynu aragno. cid kastoo registration iyo daraasad kale la wadayba kan waxa dhici karta inuu sanada qaato. waxa dhici karta doorashada soo socotay isaga dhamaan inaynu gallo. ta ku xigta marka ay dhici karto isagoo dhamaaday in lagu galo. markaan waxa basalaan doonta waaba la yaqaan registration ba loo baahan maayo. qofku meesha photo-ku kaarkiisa la tagaya, kaarka markuu la tago waxa la soo siray kaarkii codaynta ilaa waaba la yaqaan address ku codaynayo. marka aad iyo aad baad maaragtay ka soo qaybgalka u mahadcelinayna. jaamacadaha bari baa insha Allah balantiinu tahay. waxaan rajayn doonaa insha Allah taala jaamacadeena wax fiican la qabto. waxaan ku darayaa wasaaradaha iyo dowladaha hoose iyo cid kastoo shaqo laleeyahay in la fududeeyo wixii shaqo ah. barnaamijkana insha Allah intaas inoogu xidhay. aad iyo aad baan isku mahadcelinayaa. Assalaamu calaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakaatuh.